I confronted my cheating girlfriend at our wedding. What she said left everyone speechless. Weddings are supposed to be about love and commitment, the day you stand in front of everyone you love and promise forever. But imagine this, standing at the altar, ready to say, "I do," only to know the person you're marrying had already betrayed you. The whispers started the night before. The proof landed in my hands, and in that moment I made a decision. I wouldn't cancel. I wouldn't walk away quietly. I would expose her right there, in front of everyone. And what happened next left the entire room in shock. Her name was Lily. We met 3 years ago at a friend's party, and from the moment she laughed at one of my dumb jokes, I was hooked. She had that kind of presence, warm, magnetic, the type of person who made a crowded room feel smaller just by smiling at you. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. Everyone said we were perfect together. My family adored her. My best man, Marcus, once told me I was punching above my weight, and honestly, I agreed. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Planning the wedding was stressful, but I kept reminding myself that it was all worth it. The venue was booked, the guests were invited, the flowers were ordered. On paper, everything was perfect. In my heart, I thought I was about to marry the love of my life. That was before the night that changed everything. It was the night before the wedding. I was at Marcus's place, trying to calm my nerves with pizza and a few beers. Around midnight, his phone buzzed. He looked at it, frowned, and then turned pale. "What's wrong?" I asked. He hesitated. Then he handed me his phone. "I don't know if I should show you this, but you deserve to know." On the screen was a video. Shaky, grainy, but clear enough. Lily, my fiancée, sitting at a bar with her ex-boyfriend, laughing, drinking, and then kissing him. Not a peck, not a goodbye. A full-on intimate kiss, like she was 19 again and falling for him all over. The caption under the video from the mutual friend who'd sent it read, "Dude, does he know?" My world tilted. My chest went hollow. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Marcus put a hand on my shoulder. "Say the word, and I'll cancel everything right now. No one would blame you." But as I stared at that video, another thought settled in. Why should I carry the shame? Why should I be the one to quietly call things off while she walked away with her secret intact? No. If she wanted to betray me the night before our wedding, then I would expose her on the day of it. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in Marcus's living room staring at that video on repeat. Every time I tried to convince myself it wasn't what it looked like, the image burned me deeper. Her hands in his hair, his arm around her, the way she smiled against his lips. I could have canceled the wedding quietly. I could have spared myself the humiliation. But humiliation wasn't mine to carry. She had chosen this. She had chosen him. By 3 a.m, my decision was made. I wouldn't call it off. I'd go through every step as if nothing had happened. But when the moment came, when the vows were about to be spoken, I would show everyone who she really was. No screaming, no chaos. Just the truth, in front of everyone who mattered. Marcus was horrified when I told him. "Are you sure? Man, this is going to blow up." I nodded. "Good, it should blow up. Why should I protect her image while she's destroying mine?" He didn't argue after that. He just promised to stand by me, whatever happened. The wedding morning. The morning of the wedding was surreal. I woke up, put on the tux, and smiled for photos like nothing was wrong. People congratulated me, hugged me, clapped me on the back. My parents beamed. My mother cried happy tears, saying, "She's the one. I can feel it." Inside, I was numb. Every smile felt fake. Every cheer felt like nails in my skin. I kept thinking, if only they knew. Lily looked radiant when I first saw her that day. Her dress was perfect, her makeup flawless, her smile practiced. She kissed me on the cheek before the ceremony and whispered, "I can't believe it's finally here." I smiled back, and for a moment, I almost doubted myself. Almost. But then I remembered the video, the kiss, the betrayal, and the cold resolve came back stronger. The music began. Guests stood as Lily walked down the aisle on her father's arm, looking like the picture of purity. The crowd sighed. Phones came out. People snapped photos of the perfect couple. When she reached me, she slipped her hand into mine. It trembled just slightly. Maybe nerves, maybe guilt, I didn't care. I squeezed back, steady and calm. The officiant began the ceremony. "We are gathered here today," his words blurred. All I could hear was my heart thudding in my ears. Not from nerves, but from the anticipation of what I was about to do. The vows approached. The crowd leaned in, smiles wide, waiting for the fairy tale ending. But instead, they were about to get the truth. The vows were about to begin. The officiant smiled warmly, looking at me first. "Do you, Daniel, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" I raised a hand. "Actually, before I answer that, I need to share something with all of you." A ripple of confusion spread through the guests. Lily squeezed my hand tightly, whispering through her teeth, "What are you doing?" I ignored her. I turned toward the crowd, scanning the faces of friends, family, co-workers, all gathered to celebrate what they thought was love. "Weddings are about honesty and commitment," I said, my voice steady. "But there's something you all deserve to know before I can make any vows." Gasps echoed as I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out a small remote. Behind us, the projector was set up for a slideshow of our engagement photos. Instead of childhood pictures, the screen flickered. The video began. There she was, Lily, in a dim bar, laughing with her ex, leaning across the table, kissing him like a woman with no wedding tomorrow, his hand on her waist, her smile shining. The room went dead silent. Chairs scraped, a drink spilled somewhere in the back. Lily's mother covered her mouth with both hands. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." Lily's face strained of all color. Stop it right now," she shrieked, trying to yank the remote from my hand. But it was too late. Everyone had seen. I looked at her, calm, almost cold. "How am I supposed to vow forever when you couldn't even make it to the wedding without betraying me?" The officiant stood frozen. The crowd erupted in murmurs. And Lily, shaking, eyes wide with panic, finally blurted out the excuse that still makes my blood boil. Lily's voice cracked as she turned to me, hands trembling. "It wasn't what it looked like," she cried, loud enough for the whole room to hear. "It wasn't cheating, it was closure." The word hung in the air, absurd and flimsy. Guests exchanged confused looks. My father frowned. My best man let out a bitter laugh. "Closure?" I repeated, my voice calm but sharp. "You kissed your ex the night before our wedding. That's not closure, Lily. That's betrayal." She shook her head frantically, tears streaming down her face. "I just needed to see him one last time, to be sure I was making the right choice. It didn't mean anything, I swear. I came back, didn't I? I still chose you." The crowd murmured louder. Some gasped. Others whispered angrily. Her father buried his face in his hands. Her bridesmaids stared at the floor, ashamed. I took a step back, keeping my voice steady. "You didn't choose me. You chose him. And then, you expected me to stand here and smile while you played the perfect bride." She reached for me, desperate. "Please, Daniel, you have to believe me. It was just a mistake. Just a kiss. It won't happen again." But the room wasn't on her side anymore. I could feel the shift, the weight of judgment pressing down on her. Everyone knew the truth. Everyone had seen it with their own eyes, and I wasn't about to let her spin it into anything less than what it was. The room exploded. Gasps turned into whispers. Whispers turned into open outrage. Someone in the front row muttered, "Disgusting." Another voice snapped, "She doesn't deserve you." A few guests actually stood up, shaking their heads as if they couldn't believe what they just witnessed. Lily's mother started crying, hiding her face in her hands. Her father's jaw clenched so tight I thought he might break a tooth. He finally stood and barked. "Is this true, Lily?" She sobbed, mascara streaking down her face. "It was nothing. It was just one night I didn't mean for it to." Her father's hand slammed against the pew. "The night before your wedding? With your ex?" His voice boomed across the chapel, louder than the officiant had been moments earlier. My best man, Marcus, stepped forward. "Daniel, let's end this. You don't owe her anything." He turned to the crowd. Everyone here saw it. He's not the fool. She is. The bridesmaids looked like they wanted to disappear. A few guests pulled out their phones, already texting or whispering about what they'd just seen. This wasn't going to stay in that chapel. It was going to ripple through every family circle, every friend group, every social feed. Lily reached for me again, voice shaking. "Please, don't do this. Don't humiliate me like this." I stared at her, steady. "You humiliated yourself the moment you kissed him. I just let the truth be seen." Her knees buckled, and she collapsed onto the steps of the altar, sobbing uncontrollably. The fairy tale wedding dress, the flowers, the music, all of it looked grotesque now, like a costume for a play that had just been canceled mid-scene. The officiant cleared his throat awkwardly. "Perhaps we should adjourn." But no one was listening to him. The wedding wasn't just over, it had been burned to ashes in front of everyone. I waited until the murmurs died down, until the only sound left was Lily sobbing at my feet. The room felt heavy, like every guest was holding their breath. I looked out at the faces, my family, her family, our friends, co-workers, neighbors, people who had dressed up to celebrate love but had been handed betrayal instead. And then I spoke. Marriage is built on trust, I said, my voice steady. On respect. On knowing that the person standing beside you values you enough to keep their promises. But how can I vow forever to someone who couldn't even stay faithful the night before our wedding? Lily's head snapped up, eyes wide and swollen. Please, Daniel. I cut her off. You wanted closure, Lily? Here it is. Closure isn't found in another man's arms. Closure isn't kissing your ex the night before you promised to be my wife. Closure is this moment, me walking away from someone who didn't deserve me. A gasp rippled through the crowd. Some guests clapped, others whispered, but no one dared to move. I handed the microphone back to the officiant and stepped away from the altar. Marcus followed me instantly, his hand firm on my shoulder, like a silent shield. My parents rose, faces tight with pain but also with pride. I didn't look back at Lily. I didn't need to. The image of her crumpled on the altar, wedding dress stained with tears, was enough to last me a lifetime. I walked out of the chapel, the heavy wooden doors closing behind me like the final word on a chapter I hadn't expected but refused to be trapped in. The moment those chapel doors closed behind me, I felt like I could finally breathe. For weeks, I'd been drowning in doubt, rage, and betrayal. But walking out on her in front of everyone felt like dragging myself out of the water and taking the first clean breath in forever. The fallout came fast. By the time I got home that night, my phone was buzzing non-stop. Messages from guests, missed calls from family, screenshots of social media posts. Everyone was talking about it. Some called me brave. Some said it was cruel. But no one denied one thing: the truth was undeniable. Lily's family was shattered. Her father, humiliated in front of his business colleagues who had been at the wedding, refused to speak to her. Her mother was devastated. And Lily herself? She tried reaching out to me the next day. Dozens of texts, long voicemails, sobbing apologies, saying she had made a stupid mistake and didn't want to lose me. But her mistake had a face. It had lips. It had arms wrapped around her. And I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life wondering if she'd run back to him whenever she wanted more closure. As for the ex, I heard through friends that his own girlfriend dumped him after seeing the video. Apparently, she hadn't known Lily was still in the picture. Betrayal has a way of burning everyone it touches. In the days after, I couldn't go anywhere without someone bringing it up. At the grocery store, "Hey man, I was at your wedding. I just want to say, good for you." At the gym, "Dude, what you did took guts." Even people I didn't know personally had heard. The story spread like wildfire. Some supported me, others whispered, but the one thing no one did, no one looked at me like I was the fool anymore. The shame had been hers alone to carry. My parents stood by me completely. My dad told me, "You did what I wish I'd had the courage to do when I was younger. You demanded respect." My mom said, through tears, "I just hate that you had to learn this lesson this way." Marcus, my best man, became my shield. He shut down gossip, defended me when people called it cruel, and reminded me, cruel is kissing your ex the night before your wedding, not telling the truth at the altar. Lily moved back in with her parents for a while. She lost her job after coworkers saw the video. Apparently it got shared way beyond our circle. Nobody wanted to hire someone whose name came up linked to wedding scandal on the internet. She kept trying to reach out to me, swearing it was a mistake, swearing she loved me. Her messages grew desperate. "Please, I just wanted closure. Please, I was scared. Please, I still want us." But by then, I had all the closure I needed. In the weeks that followed, I thought a lot about that moment standing at the altar, exposing her in front of everyone. Some people called it harsh. Some said I should have ended things privately. But here's the truth. She didn't betray me privately. She betrayed me publicly the night before the wedding, while everyone was preparing to celebrate us. She made me a fool in silence. I wasn't going to carry that shame alone. By showing the video, I didn't create her betrayal, I just revealed it. And the truth belongs in the open. If there's one thing I learned, it's this: love without respect isn't love. Trust once broken can't be patched with excuses like closure. And marriage? Marriage only works when both people are all in, not one foot in today and one foot in the past. So, if you ever find yourself in my shoes, remember, silence protects the liar, but truth sets you free. Don't be afraid to let the truth speak for itself. Because sometimes the most powerful words aren't "I do," they're "I'm done."